guys? Welcome to Black Scout Survival live stream. I want to do a quick video because some new information came out I want to share with you guys. Remember a few days ago I talked about there was a Army colonel, special operations colonel. There was very little information about the incident. Well, it comes out, I had a theory that he was Delta or CAG. And the reason why I thought that, and just using simple logic, is because how secretive it was and because of the situation. You had two Chechens that showed up at a house, and we're going to dive more into that in a moment because I got so much hate saying, oh, they were working on the power lines and the colonel went out there and shot them. Come on, dude. We're talking about a Delta Force colonel. Is he going to just go shoot someone just because they're on his property? No. He had his spidey senses had to be going off. I've been around Delta. Them guys are locked on. You want to talk about gangsters? Delta Force is it. Okay. And the thing is that people all the time want to say, oh man, no, just the haters. Go work out, quit hating. Anyway, but it came out. Look at this. The soldier, a colonel in Delta Force, using simple logic. I'm a redneck, dude. I'm a redneck. I'm dumb. But using simple logic and reasoning and removing bias. That's the thing that I think why I get a lot of things right is because I can remove my bias. Everybody has bias, but I remove mine whenever I try to analyze things. And when you look at this situation, you have two Chechens. They're like, oh, he's working on the power lines, and he went and killed him. No, it turns out those two guys were illegal immigrants who were here in the country illegally. Guess what? They live in Chicago. They live in Chicago, these two guys, the Chechens. They barely spoke English. They lived in Chicago address. They were hired by a New Jersey power company to work in North Carolina. They didn't have anybody closer. Bullshit. Nope. They were not in uniform. They were out there at night in the dark taking pictures of their work to show their family or friends on Facebook. Bull crap. They were using high-tech surveillance equipment. It comes out, they were actually taking pictures of the children, in which I said, taking pictures of the children in the house of the Delta Force commander. Right? So you can't make me believe it all. This was, if you read here, the soldier, Colonel Delta Force Army, highly specialized unit dedicated to counterterrorism, high-value targets, is undoubtedly a high-value target for hostile foreign governments. We were in a proxy war with Russia, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not. We are in that. So in that way, regardless, whatever your political opinion is, you being in the military are an enemy of that country. That's how the game works. You may be totally against the Biden administration. You may be totally against the Ukraine war. However, because you're wearing a uniform, you are the enemy. It's just how it works. Remember redcoats? This is how the game works. I know a lot of people get wrapped up in their political bias and you can believe whatever you want. However, that's how this situation boiled down to. Again, so you have illegal aliens that hadn't been in the country that long, that have no experience in power company. They have no special skills. They barely speak English. With a Chicago address, an apartment in Chicago, how do they have the utility qualifications? Very odd choice for the New Jersey based company to hire, let alone send to a service to a specific address hundreds of miles away in North Carolina. Just so happens, highly specialized Delta Force commander lives. They're outside of his house taking pictures, not the power lines. How many illegal immigrants have we seen come across the border in the past 3 years? How many of those are military-age males? How many of those are probably saboteurs or sent here to do harm to Americans? Probably a lot of them. Why? Because America is involved in proxy wars. Whether you agree with it or not, it's the case. You are the enemy, being an American, of the proxy wars. That's how it works. Remove bias, think logically, and you can figure stuff out. You can be a dumb redneck like me and still figure things out. Now, a lot of times, like I told you, utility companies are always, for the most part, or frequently uses covers for surveillance of foreign targets. We do it here in America. Why would you think they wouldn't? So that's where it's at. So new information. So everyone that said I was wrong, nope, I wasn't wrong again. I wasn't wrong again. Like usual, not wrong. So anyway, that's where it stands. The other alarming thing about this is that there's zero information in the media. Probably because, and the colonel hadn't been charged. If he just went and shot some unassuming immigrant that was just taking pictures of his work, he would be in prison. They would love to take an American to prison for shooting an immigrant. Trust me. That's a future voter for the Democrats. They're making the moves in the Electoral College right now. It's almost like someone commented, I've said this before too, last night, it's like, you're clickbaiting World War III. Do you think whenever they launched World War II, they said, all right, guys, light switch, it's World War II. Breaking news, World War II. They said it well after the fact we're in World War II. We're already in World War III. Russian media is saying it. You're already in it. And the fact of the matter is you're going to see much more of these type of things happen within the U.S. Why? Why wouldn't you go after a high-ranking, secretive commander, part of a secretive unit? That's very crucial. Makes sense. But just, this is the thing. Like I'm going to say, what you have to do is that a lot of times when you're looking at information, remove bias. I'm biased. I'm biased as a mofo. Trust me. But whenever I analyze these things, whenever I make the videos and come to you with this, I remove the bias. And it's funny that a lot of people will assume certain things about me specifically because I see it in the comments. Oh, you idolize Donald Trump. I don't at all. Not at all. But the thing is that I know what I want in life, and I know what bus to get on to get there, right? Trump is the head in that right direction that I'm trying to go. Do I wear a MAGA hat? Never. I don't own anything Trump. Nothing. But he's the path to the right direction. It sure as hell's not Joe Biden, right? So a lot of times just remove your bias, think logically with reason. I've been telling you this since 2020. Why are you being told this? This is the questions you ask. Why am I being told this? Think about the hokey pokey, the whole nonsense that went on with that. Why am I being told this? Who does it benefit for me to do this? Right? And so on and so forth. Now, there was just a video released crazy from the Oklahoma National Guard. I'm going to show this video. One of the subscribers sent this to me. This should be a lot more proof, right? They not only this, but in the military manuals, they've also included now against nuclear weapons because it's a potential, right? But Johnny, thanks, buddy. Maybe it's because being a dumb redneck, you're not indoctrinated. I don't know, man. Maybe that's why we get it right. You know? So anyway, let me post this video up, and we'll talk through it.
Vision of creating a training facility that would allow our soldiers to learn how to fight, clear, and win in trenches. And that's what we're here today to do. I'm very proud. I couldn't be more proud. We're doing this with state funds. The Oklahoma legislature and the governor have supported this effort, and our own soldiers are building it. I think this is going to be a great training event going forward for our soldiers and will save lives in future conflicts.
The use of trenches in Eastern Europe between Ukraine and Russia has illustrated the need for dismounted maneuver forces to be able to have understanding of how to fight and how to survive in a linear battlefield under large-scale combat operations. The establishment of this trench training site is of double applicability to our forces. Number one, our Brigade Engineer Battalion had a significant hand in the construction and development of this trench, so that's excellent training for them. But secondly, our dismounted maneuver forces will be able to utilize this trench in order to develop and improve their tactics, techniques, and procedures for counter UAS warfare, as well as regular defense operations.
So this is going to be a three-phase project that is going to begin with building the first trench located here behind me, the second trench located just south of this site, and then the third phase will be all the accompanying facilities to include sand table and AAR sites. That's going to be really broken down into 3 annual training periods over 3 years. So the first one will be this year, conducted this summer, with the goal of being complete no later than November. Phase 2 with the second trench will be completed next summer during our annual training period. And the third phase will be in the 3rd year. As soon as we...
All right, so we have the Oklahoma National Guard, and they are the ones talking about this. Maybe it's happening in other places as well. But that should be a major red flag to Americans. Trench warfare. Did you ever think that we would, and he said Eastern Europe, okay? Why would we be training for combat in Eastern Europe in trenches? Unless they're planning to do so. Why would you waste so many resources? We're living in the modern era. Trench warfare, I think, is the past, but is it? Is it? If you think about it, though, if you think about this, when we seen the global war on terrorism, it was more guerrilla fighting. When you look at Vietnam, guerrilla fighting, these sort of things. A real full-scale conventional war in a World War III scenario, it would be much more utilization of conventional forces than special operations. Special operations are used more for guerrilla type operations, and when you have fighting like that, because you need guys on the ground that can go get with the locals and such. When you're talking about fighting conventional forces, people like the 101st, the 82nd Airborne, the Army Rangers, the Marine Corps, these will be the 3rd ID. You'll see these type of guys carrying the brunt of it, right? They were using very little special operations in World War II because it's not necessary when you're fighting a conventional force. So trench warfare is something that would probably come back. And you think, why? Trench warfare leads to mass casualties. That's what it does, especially in the modern era where you have close air support and such, right? You have missiles. It will lead to mass casualty. And to imagine that we would even consider getting in a conflict like this, but they don't care because of the amount of money they can make. They're not worried about costing American lives. But the fact of the matter is, Oklahoma National Guard are actually, drones. Someone said drones, exactly. Drones, and you're in a trench. Let's see how that works out for you. But the fact of the matter is there will be much more use of conventional forces. That's why the Marine Corps, if you've been paying attention to them, they completely restructure their whole infantry. They are preparing for something, guys, whether you like it or not. It's a sad fact, but it is looking terrible. It's looking terrible. It's not good. But I wanted to show this, and I wanted to cover the colonel because, man, I got so much. Oh, man, the colonel went out there and shot a guy that was working. He was not working. It was 8:30 at night. He was not working. He had no credentials, no identification. He was completely sanitized, right? When people get sanitized, it's so they don't get caught, right? You remove out any pocket lid or anything that can put you associated with a certain country, group, what have you. Like, these are tactics. Everything about this Chechen scenario, you can tell was someone that was trained to do this. It's just a fact of the matter. And what should be more alarming is the less you hear about it. Anytime there's less you hear about it, there's more of it. It's kind of like I always talk about the distractions. The Robert De Niro stunt the other day. All the conservative YouTubers, man, that was their day. There was like, this is something safe I can make a whole video about, and it distracts from the real problems. The problem is a lot of conservative commentators, they're only worried about getting views and money, which is fine, do you, but they're falling for the distractions than actually understanding what's going on around you. Now, I want to say this too, is that regardless of what's going on, still you live your life. Like, because a lot of people are like, man, I'm doomed. I'm just live your life. You don't know when the last day is. Your last day could be tomorrow driving home from the grocery store. So you don't know. Live every day like it's your last day, right? Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life regardless. Be prepared. That's the thing, is like living as a survivalist, you live with that prepared mindset. Do I walk around paranoid? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do things I like to do. I enjoy myself, but I am prepared. It's the same principle as putting on your seatbelt or having a fire extinguisher in your house. Take these precautions. Okay. Anyway, I want to show you this, guys, real quick. Our stealth hammock, because it's summertime, and as long as the world isn't annihilated, you can go hang in a hammock. But anyway, our hammock, this is our stealth hammock, and you might need it because you might need to be camping out in the wilderness, trying to stay undetected from the Chechens. But anyway, M81 camo there, ultra lightweight. Okay. Ours come with straps. These are very cheap, low cost, I should say, than a lot of other brands. I'm not trying to mark up and kill your pocket, but it comes with these cheap tree straps here. So a lot of times you have to buy tree straps separately, but they wrap around the tree, very heavy duty. And they also come with, and this converts into a water bottle pocket once you pull it out, but they have amazing lightweight wire gate carabiners as well that hooks onto the tree straps there. So anyway, those are on site now. They won't last long, I'm sure. Like all of our stuff goes pretty fast and people get upset, but you got to understand, we're a small business, man. We can only maintain a certain amount of inventory, and then we roll to the next project, because I like to make projects. I don't like to make the same thing all the time. So anyway, guys, I wanted to share this information with you. And someone said the draft, they're putting where they're going to put illegal immigrants actually allowed to be put into the draft. So what do you think is happening, guys? Anyway, let me know your comments and thoughts below. And I always remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.